Use the map in your knowledge of social studies to answer 29. How did the physical characteristics of the environment influence the colonial economic activities as shown in the map above? A warm, wet climate made South Carolina and Georgia ideal for growing rice. B. A long growing season made the New England colonies the center of tobacco cultivation. C. The colonists in the southern colonies specialized in trading finished goods with American Indians for furs. D. A lack of fertile soil discouraged farming in Maryland and Virginia. Number 30. How did geography influence the early economic development of New York, Boston, and Jamestown? F. Long coastlines offered abundant natural resources. G. Proximity to flooding rivers limited development. H. Natural harbors provided access to markets. J. Extreme climate limited productive activity. Which constitutional amendment is described above? A. The 10th Amendment. B. 4th Amendment. C. 1st Amendment. D. 2nd Amendment. Number 32. This excerpt above reflects the dissatisfaction of American colonists with the F. Political debates that took place at the Albany Convention. G. Economic consequences of the Great Awakening. H. Interference of Great Britain in the slave trade. J. Economic policies imposed by Great Britain. Number 33. People who want to attend religious services in San Antonio have many choices, such as mosques, churches, synagogues, and temples. These choices are protected by the A. First Amendment, B. 4th Amendment, C. 6th Amendment, D. 8th Amendment. Number 34. Use the text below to answer question 34. Which of the following best accounts for migration to the Maryland colony in the 17th century? F. Catholics migrated to Maryland in order to produce cash crops. G. Catholic immigration to Maryland was due to overpopulation in European. H. Catholics migrated to Maryland following environmental catastrophes in Europe. J. Catholics came to Maryland in order to escape religious persecution. It's the yellow ones. Use the maps to answer question 35. Based on the maps above, which of the following can be concluded? A. The New England colonies were more suited for commercial agriculture than the middle and southern colonies. B. The geographic conditions were not ideal for agriculture in the middle and southern colonies. C. The geographic conditions allowed the middle and southern colonies to practice only subsistence agriculture. D. The middle and southern colonies were more suited for commercial agriculture than the New England colonies. Use the illustration below to answer question 36. How did the delegates to the Constitutional Convention settle the issue described above? F. The Commerce Compromise. G. The Three-Fifths Compromise. H. The Great Compromise. J. The Executive Compromise. Use the passage in your knowledge of social studies to answer question 37. Which constitutional principle is reflected in the excerpt above? A. Federalism. B. Separation of powers. C. Popular sovereignty. D. Checks and balances. Use the map to answer question 38. Which best explains the difference in economic activities in the three regions of colonial America shown on the map? F. There were regional differences in policies towards American Indians. G. There were regional differences in the prior occupations of newcomers from Europe. H. There were regional differences in soils, rainfall, and growing seasons. J. There were regional differences in the religious beliefs held by most colonies. Number 39. Which action is an example of the use of checks and balances? A. The President vetoes a bill passed by Congress. B. Choosing a vice president running mate by a presidential candidate. C. The election of the Speaker of the House by the majority party. D. President George Washington starting negotiations for a treaty. Number 40. The Virginia House of Burgesses was important to the development of democracy in the 13 colonies because it, F. created the first written constitution in America. G. provided an example of a representative form of government. H. provided the direct election of senators. J. began the practice of legislative override of executive vetoes. 41. The Articles of Confederation were placed as the basis of the United States government because they A. lack provision for a national Congress. D. declared that political protests were unconstitutional. C. placed too many restrictions on the activities of state governments. D. failed to give the central government enough power to govern effectively. Use the diagram to answer number 42. Which best completes the diagram above? F. The right to keep and bear arms. G. Freedom to speak without fear of punishment. H. Protection from cruel and unusual punishment. J. Freedom of the press to report on court proceedings. Use the excerpt to answer question 43. This excerpt refers to rights that people A. earn by demonstrating their loyalty to their government. B. receive by becoming citizens of the country. C. have as a result of being human. Or D. are granted after enlistment in the military. Number 44. The amendment process was included in the U.S. Constitution to F. increase the power of the states over the national government. G. allow future flexibility to meet the changing needs of citizens. H. define the powers of the three branches of government. J. prevent the concentration of power in the executive branch. Use the chart to answer question 45. Which statement best completes the chart? A. Aristocrats established new colonies for younger sons who had no land. B. English bishops wanted to convert American Indians to Roman Catholicism. C. English families sought a haven to escape warfare. D. English joint stock companies hoped to find gold in New World. Make sure you have answered and recorded all your answers.